There is still hope.
A moment of history made in Michigan.
It's on its way to Canada right now.
Left the plant in Portage.
In boxes coming from Belgium.
Less than 2 months later, however, production, transportation and distribution of coronavirus vaccines have been teetering disarray. Some vaccine companies have repeatedly reassured governments of their capacity. But the reality, however, is that their limited productivity is affecting many countries that have to scramble for the share. Let's take the European Union as an example. Recently, Pfizer and AstraZeneca told EU member states that the amount of vaccines they promised had to be cut out.
Last Friday, the company AstraZeneca surprisingly informed the Commission and the European Union member states that it intends to supply considerably fewer doses in the coming weeks than agreed and announced.
Not surprisingly, the EU is unhappy.
Europe invested billions to help develop the world's first COVID-19 vaccines. And now the companies must deliver. They must honor their obligations.
To respond forcefully to the cost, the EU then announced that it would conduct rigorous inspections of vaccine exports.
In the future, all companies producing vaccines against COVID-19 in the EU will have to provide early notification whenever they want to export vaccines to third countries. The European Union will take any action required to protect its citizens and rights.
In the face of this, the UK's vaccine minister warned of the dead end of vaccine nationalism. US President Joe Biden recently announced America was buying 200 million more COVID-19 vaccine doses.
We expect these additional 200 million doses to be delivered this summer.
Countries like Canada and the UK already reserved more than 3 times what's needed to inoculate the population, where many other countries are struggling to even get the first dose. South Korea President Moon Jae-in has urged developed countries to stop being selfish by restricting vaccine exports or prioritizing their citizens, since the country has yet received a single dose. What's true of South Korea, a high-income country, is even truer for those less wealthy.
Now, rich countries in the world are holding on to these vaccines, and we are saying release the excess vaccines that you have ordered and hoarded. And we want vaccines as quickly as other countries do.
World Health Organization, therefore, warned the world.
The world is on the brink of a catastrophic moral failure. And the price of this failure will be paid with lives and livelihoods in the world's poorest countries.
For some countries that are stockpiling coronavirus vaccines, their cold management means that many vaccines are never really made available to the public. Nearly 12,000 Moderna vaccines got too cold and rendered useless were en route to Michigan. And a lack of supply from the federal government forced New York City to temporarily close vaccination hubs. In Canada is a different story, but with the same ending. The port distribution system in Ontario left 40% of the vaccine stock inside the freezers, while care homes remain to be fully vaccinated. There are also cases of people taking advantage of the cold management or the positions.
Some wealthy Americans are maneuvering to get the COVID vaccine before others. An investigation is already underway in Florida.
In the U.S., healthcare personnel, residents of long-term care facilities, the elderly, people with underlying medical conditions, and other essential workers have priority access. But New York healthcare provider has been accused of fraudulently obtaining coronavirus vaccine doses by passing the most vulnerable and administering them to the members of the public. Another American vaccination site announced that it was running out of vaccines on New Year's Eve. But in the evening, some people left the site saying that their contacts told them to come and get vaccinated. Just as Americans worry about those with power, money and connections finding a way to skip the line, others across the world find similar problems. Many countries are still struggling to get the first doses of the vaccine. When some countries stockpile vaccines but fail to deliver them properly, to the wonder what people in other countries are feeling.